Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Senator Saddam Salim. It is good to be with you today on this stop of the Democratic Party of Virginia's Worst of Winsome's tour to talk about our opponent in this election and why their extreme views are wrong for Virginia. Ahead of Winsome Earl Sears campaigning with the rest of the GOP ticket in Vienna tomorrow, we are here to shine a light on just how out of step she is with the Virginia of 2025. I'm in my first term in the Virginia Senate, where Winsome Earl Sears has presided as lieutenant governor. As a senator, the most important part of my job is to listen to the people I represent and fight for what they need. But not everyone approaches this job that way. Looking at Winsome Sears' extreme record, it's crystal clear that if she makes it to the governor's mansion, she won't fight for Virginians. She will just push her extreme agenda forward. We can talk about her embarrassing moment and her reputation as a poor communicator, but the worst part of Winsome is her style. Isn't her style, it's her substance. Just look at her record. She repeatedly attacked reproductive rights, supported a near total abortion ban, and even voted against the Right to Contraception Act. When asked, she told Virginia women, "We need to make our choices before we're pregnant," dismissing their freedom to make deeply personal decisions. She wrote that she's morally opposed to the constitutional amendment protecting reproductive freedom and did the same on a bill protecting marriage equality. When pressed by a reporter, she wouldn't even say she supported marriage equality, just civil unions, even though the vast majority of Virginians believe in full equality. After a tragic shooting at Richmond High School graduation, she rushed to the scene to sprout pro-gun talking points without regards of the grieving families. She intentionally misgendered Senator Danica Roem and defiantly refused to apologize. We all have our own views, but being personally offensive to others in public life is beneath the standards Virginia expects from their elected officials. When it comes time for the Senate to vote on major issues like reproductive freedom, housing tax credits, and paid sick leaves, Republicans went through parliamentary loopholes to shield her from casting tie-breaking votes, so Virginians wouldn't see what she truly supports. But she told us anyway, subscribing her moral opposition in notes on the bill she signed. And when Donald Trump attacked Virginia jobs that are vital to Northern Virginia and across the Commonwealth, Winsome Earl Sears has defended and cheered him on. She even said she didn't understand why it's a huge thing to lose your job. Here in Northern Virginia alone, we are slated to lose more than 32,000 jobs in the next year alone. To my constituents and Virginians, this isn't abstract. These are livelihoods, mortgages, futures on the line. It is the same story with Trump's attack on public education and critical programs like Head Start, and now with Medicaid cuts threatening access to health care for over 300,000 Virginians. Winsome has stayed silent once again, choosing loyalty to Trump over the people of Virginia. This is not leadership. Virginia deserves better. So let's be clear. From rolling back reproductive rights and supporting a near total abortion ban, to backing Trump's attack on Virginia jobs and Medicaid, to defunding public education and being morally opposed to marriage equality, Winsome Sears isn't just far right, she's dangerously wrong for Virginia. Virginians are paying attention and aren't fooled. We need to stand up this year and protect the progress we have made. That's why I'm supporting Abigail Spanberger for governor. Abigail will listen to Virginians, fight for real solutions, and stand up for what the Commonwealth needs. Not an extreme agenda that's out of step with our values. Thank you, and now I would like to turn it over to Delegate Atusa Reeser.
Good morning. Thank you, Senator Salim. My name is Delegate Atusa Reeser, and I represent Loudoun County. As Senator Salim mentioned, Winsome Earl Sears has an extensive record that is out of touch with Virginians. And if she has the chance, she'll enact the same extreme agenda that will leave Virginians' rights open to attacks. We've seen it again and again. Her first priority is Donald Trump's agenda, not Virginians. As a representative of Virginia's 27th district, an area with many federal workers, I know firsthand how harmful Trump's attacks on Virginia jobs have been. Thousands of Virginians face layoffs. And as I have met with my constituents, folks I have lived for and with for decades now, folks I have represented for 6 years, I hear at the grocery store, at the pool, at Boy Scouts meetings, in churches, what their families are actually facing. They've been laid off. They're in a constant stream of stress as they face uncertainty at work. The cream of the crop defending our country through intelligence work and defense of our country, more than 30% of who are veterans, who sacrificed for our country and then chosen to serve. Now they aren't allowed to do their jobs or go throughout the day without being worried about the stress of being laid off, having understaffed teams. And this means that the men and women who served our country will not get the care that they deserve and earned through their service. Whether it's a worker ensuring that retirees are getting their Social Security benefits, a nurse at the VA, these Virginians have dedicated their careers to making sure our government works for everyone. And right now, thousands of them are facing that uncertainty. Virginians deserve a strong leader who understands why this is a big deal, who will fight for us, and who will stand up to the attacks on Virginia. Virginia needs someone who shows us again and again that they are ready for the job, rather than Winsome Earl Sears, who's shown us repeatedly that she is not. She's defended Trump's attacks on Virginia. She has said she would help him get that job done. She has dismissed the severity of losing a job by saying Virginians facing layoffs will be all right. This is just life happening. Sears was even caught on tape saying that she doesn't understand why this is a huge thing. She doesn't understand why you losing your job is a big deal. Well, Winsome, losing a job is devastating. For most families, losing income means making it much harder to put food on the table, make rent, make your mortgage payment, or pay for your child's care. For Winsome Earl Sears to say she doesn't understand why it's a huge thing to lose your job is outright dismissive, and it proves that she cannot be trusted to fight for Virginians. With thousands of Virginians facing layoffs, we know there's a larger economic impact on all of Virginia. Restaurants are less busy, small businesses are losing customers, and Virginians are feeling this across the entire Commonwealth. Virginia is stated to lose over 30,000 jobs this year, and we've been watching as unemployment rises steadily for the past 5 months, the longest stretch since the 2008 recession. Right now, Virginia deserves a leader who will fight for the Commonwealth, not just rubber stamp Trump's harmful agenda. It's why I'm supporting Abigail for governor. Abigail has made it clear that she will fight for Virginia and always put the Commonwealth first. And that's why the entire ticket, the 100 delegates who are on this ballot for re-election, Jay Jones for Attorney General, Senator Ghazala Hashmi for Lieutenant Governor, and Abigail Spanberger for Governor, will lead the Commonwealth into a state of victory where we support Virginians and their everyday needs. Thank you. And with that, I believe I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Delegate Reeser.
You are welcome.
My name is Jenny Higginbotham, and as we've heard today, Winsome Earl Sears has an extreme agenda that's wrong for Virginia. I'm here today to share my story. 33 years ago, I had an almost 2-year-old daughter, and I was 21 weeks pregnant when my husband, my daughter, and I went to get an ultrasound. I remember the nurse was quiet, and she excused herself to go get the doctor. He came in, they continued the ultrasound in hushed tones, told me I could clean up and come back to the office. My husband and I could tell it wasn't good news. When we sat down, we were told that the baby had high drops, and while the baby still had a heartbeat, he would not survive. His chest cavity and abdomen were filled with fluid. The doctor recommended that I start the procedure to terminate this pregnancy that day or the next, that I could not wait any longer as there may be legal ramifications as to the time. I was told I was far enough along that waiting any further would be bad. After the procedure, The doctor told me that gangrene had already set in on the baby's limbs, and that had I continued carrying the pregnancy, I would have died, leaving a motherless daughter. I'm here today because 33 years ago, I was able to make my own choices about my health with my doctor. A woman's reproductive rights should be her own. We need leaders who understand that and will protect a woman's right to make her own choices. Winsome Earl Sears has been clear that she won't do that. Sears left a handwritten note on the constitutional amendment protecting reproductive freedom that she's morally opposed to this bill. Then earlier this year, she voted against the Right to Contraception Act, leaving the door open to extreme restrictions on women's right to choose. She supports a near total ban on abortion, similar to the one in Texas that has no exceptions for rape or incest, and has said that she would do everything in her power to end abortion in Virginia. She was even caught on tape attacking reproductive freedom, saying, "We need to make our choices before we're pregnant, not, after you've already made a choice." Well, I was able to make my own choice and receive the care I needed to survive without interference from politicians. Many women can't. When you look at these comments and Sears' extreme record as a whole, it's crystal clear that if Winsome Earl Sears has the choice, she will enact extreme restrictions on women's health care and strip women of their ability to make their own health care decisions. If any of the restrictive laws, like the near total ban on abortion the Sears supports, had been in place, my own story might have had a different ending. While Winsome Earl Sears wants to roll back our rights, Abigail Spanberger will fight to protect reproductive rights so that every woman in Virginia can access the care they need to help their health care decisions, and they can stay between them and their doctors, not with politicians in Richmond. Thank you.